Hello, lovelies. This is Lynn. I have a few things to chat about today, and I thought I'd just pop on and go live since I've got a little bit of time. Today is my last day of vacation. I go back to my full-time work on Tuesday next week after the holiday. And so since I had a few minutes today, I thought I'd pop on and see if anybody is available. I know it wasn't announced. But some days that's how things go, right? So I had a couple things that I wanted to chat about. Number one is that, Spirit shows up when Spirit wants to show up. And Spirit showed up for me big time last night. My husband and I were talking, and I just started rambling all the things that Spirit was showing me. The first thing that Spirit talked about was that there will be a worldwide no purchase day, no buy day, and actually a week, not just a day. And that is a message from all the people to the big companies that we're not going to keep up. We're not going to tolerate it. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but my sense is that it's going to be very soon. And it will be a week long. People will buy from small businesses and grocery stores, but they are not going to buy anything they don't need. It is, again, it's a message to major businesses, the owners of those businesses, and how they manipulate us into buying more, but also how they treat their workers and the people who work for the companies that supply the products that they sell. So it's a multifaceted perspective on that. The other thing that I got was that earthquakes and volcanoes and all of those things, like some of the climate change things, not all of them. Earth is warming up, and it will shift water levels in the oceans, but things like earthquakes and volcanoes and some of those other things, Mother Earth is responding to our energy, but also astrological energy. So combined, that is making things a bit more rowdy. That's the word I just heard. It's rowdy. So Earth is saying, wait a minute, you need to find your calm. And I think with all of the things that are happening at the political level and how they are trying to harm so many people, it just is, it's time. Like and please know that I in no way, shape, or form condone violence. And if you are in a protest, if you are among protesters, and anyone starts to become violent, hightail it out, because that is the thing that will kick off law enforcement becoming more violent. So the other things that I wanted to talk about were the economy here in the U.S. So I'm going to pull a few cards from the predictions deck and see what we've got. U.S. economy. U.S. economy. My husband just came home. Hi, honey.
Hi.
I'm doing a live.
Oh, okay. How you doing, Pudding?
My husband says hello. What's going to happen with the economy? Ooh. We might get some rescue or revival. That's good news. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's good news. Future time. It's going to happen in the future. But we are going to feel the consequences of that. And because there's a lot of damage that's already been done. Well, this is interesting. We're also going to have some disclosures about that. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to hold this up. I'm using a background because I have a window right behind me and the lighting of it is yucky. I'm trying to hold the cards up and that. Anything else with the U.S. economy? Okay. We are going to be impacted by floods and heavy rain. I've seen this card a number of times. This is offerings and donations, but if you notice, I don't know if I can hold it any closer. She's holding garden products, and I suspect that one of the things that we're going to see, and a lot of people have talked about this, in terms of food shortages and that type of thing. Yeah. Prepare and stock up. So if there are food shortages, one of the things that it's helpful to do is to get to know your neighbors. And hey, I've got this. What can we trade? I have this service. What do you have? So it's like a bartering system. I don't know any better words to say than that, but it'll get you through. And I don't think it's going to be for long. I think it's going to be at most a couple of months that we see that. And I think that's an at most. I feel like it's more like a few weeks. If there's anybody here and you have a question or a topic you'd like me to cover, please put a comment in the chat and I will be glad to do a reading for you. I keep getting this card, Pandemic and Health Crisis. And a few people have talked about this, and I keep getting this card. It is one that concerns me because, leadership in the United States doesn't care. I've seen this one before as well, and my sense on this, it says social media. My sense on this is that there are going to be some new laws that come out about social media. Oh, misinformation, disinformation. I feel like that's going to be in the next 2 years that we'll see those. It'll be interesting. This says security cameras. It'll be interesting to learn about things they don't want us to know that were caught on tape. And because they were caught on tape, they cannot control the narrative anymore. Yeah. AI. AI is going to play a big role in, let me switch that. Laws are going to play a big role in how AI is disseminated and used. AI is currently sweeping the internet to find information, and some of the AI tools include sources, and those sources are accurate sources, but a lot of them don't. They'll just make up a URL, a web address, and invariably I have seen them go way back, like 20 plus years for a source, and that is very concerning, especially because some of the information that they sweep is inaccurate, or if it's very old, all that information could have changed since then. All right, anything else about US? Economy, US economy. US. Yep, here we go. Food shortages. I've heard from others that there are already issues with empty shelves and poor quality produce showing up. I don't know what this means, a sinking ship. My question was US economy, and a lot of US politics and food shortages and weather stuff has popped out. And then be careful about cyber attacks. If you are sent links in emails, be super careful about clicking on that link. Making sure that the spelling of the URL is correct, or if it's embedded in the text. If you hover your mouse over that, it will show up. Sometimes it's down at the bottom in the browsers that I use. It's down in the bottom left corner, but there is, it'll show you the full link. I don't know if you can hear her, but my cat is meowing. Daddy is outside with the dog and she is sad about it. So she might be a little loud. All right, let's change topics. And I saw the headline yesterday about the South African leader and Trump saying, oh, white genocide. No, that was not in South Africa. That was Trump creating chaos. And the thing that I know about him is he likes to create chaos and make headlines and do all the things. But there's something going on in the background he doesn't want us to know about. And whatever that is, it's going to become big news, and it will be urgent. And it's going to cause a lot of tension. Those tensions are going to escalate and become an issue. This card came up. It's called Disaster Wreckage. For me, this feels like the communities that have been hit by tornadoes. Losing all the cards. Luckily, none of them fell to the floor this time. No, commercial airlines may be involved. That's a little concerning if there's a disaster wreckage with a commercial airline. Oh boy. Can you tell me anything else about the disaster and wreckage from a commercial airline, please? What else? More floods and heavy rain. I feel like we're going to see a number of people in Congress retiring this year because they are done with being threatened. When I started, I talked about volcanoes and earthquakes and it being part of our energy. Farming is going to take a big hit. I don't think they realized SNAP funds support farmers. And so a lot of farmers, if the SNAP funds are cut, those farmers are going to see their subsidies cut. And that in turn means that our food supply gets hit because they can't farm the way they need to. You may see more farmers saying, pick your own, and they're selling it directly to people as opposed to food producers and grocery stores. I suspect the red states are going to see massive increases in property taxes. I think we're going to see a business tycoon pass away, and I believe this is Warren Buffett. Since he is coming to the close of his life soon, which I don't, my personal experience with death is that people just leave behind their skin suit. And yes, I call it a skin suit. That's your body. That's your muscles. That's your bones. It's your skin. It's all the organs. You just leave it. The spirit leaves it behind and goes back home to the spirit world. We have the holding power with a little king. I wonder who we might think of here. 45, the felon in the White House. I believe we are going to see lots of protests, especially in the bigger cities. And they're doing it for the greater good. Here's food shortages again. And right after that, though, we will return to some semblance of normal. But in the background, there's a lot of damage. So we're going to have to work hard to bring things back together. Okay. If there's anybody here and you have a question, please feel free to ask. Let me see. I talked about one thing is the red states and taxes. A lot of the blue states already have higher property taxes. Excuse me. And I think that the red states are going to have to raise property taxes to be able to cover the funds that the federal government is no longer providing to the states. As it is, I am certain that, I'm certain that healthcare organizations in small communities are going to be closing. In the future, there will be financial support from the federal government with our tax dollars. In the meantime, though, we're going to hit a rough spot. It's not going to be pretty. Be careful with your... Ooh, very interesting. There's a possibility that a business tycoon is arrested or detained. Be careful with your banking. A lot of people have talked about the 3 days of darkness. There are so many potentials for what that could mean. It could mean power outages. It could mean internet outages. I don't know about you, but where we live, we're seeing more internet outages, and it'll be up and then it'll be down. I have a tsunami and rising water, sinking ship again. So perhaps we're going to see a boat accident, a large boating accident. There will be housing issues. My concern is that people who are in low-income housing will be affected quickly if the big, beautiful... Sorry, I gagged on that. If the big, beautiful bill goes through, and that's going to place a lot of heavy burdens on people, it's going to be really difficult. So if you know of anybody who is in a situation where they are reliant on HUD Section 8 housing, low-income housing, which primarily supports people who are very low income, who are disabled, who are, have children, and very young children, and have no source of income. Section 8 housing is super important. Low-income housing of any kind is super important. That is the primary reason why there is such a huge issue with homelessness in our country. Let's look at that. Let's look at homelessness and see anything about homelessness. How soon are we going to have some help with that? Give me some of that. Homelessness in the U.S. So This summer is going to be very hot, and we may see wildfires. Again, I have the volcano card. We may see volcanoes erupt that we've never known before. Some sitting under the water. Ooh, lots of cards coming out. Wild weather, tornado, high winds. Somebody's corruption is going to be big news. Here's corruption. Tell me more about the corrupt dealings. So I asked, tell me more about the corrupt dealings, and it is so many people involved. Ooh, sorry, there we go. So many people. Politicians and government officials. Could have told you that. And lots of distractions and illusions. And they are controlling the narrative all so that they control you and me and all the people. Ultimately, though, we have a good outcome. I don't know. Yeah, that should. Okay. It's going to take some time, though. Here again, pandemic, something is going to be spreading and mutating, and that could very well be COVID again. COVID mutates faster than any other virus I've ever seen. And I've been around a few days, and yeah. Tell me about that. We have disaster wreckage again. I think that goes with the plane that we had, housing issues. But there will be solutions to the problem when we join forces. There you go. That's a big one. And we will finally start seeing these messages on mainstream news. We may see some issues with trains and transportation, and it will be a surprise attack. Ultimately, I suspect that's going to involve our military. Cards fly in the muck. A lot of people in our government are staying quiet because they feel duty bound. And yet they all have classified knowledge that could take him out. I don't know why they're not using it. This is something that, as a collective, we all have to turn together to turn against him, come together to turn against him and his regime. And, there are far more than us, than him and them. Here again, we have health matters. Let's look into that a little more, because I think that means the felon. My readings on him have shown me that he has serious health issues. And I don't know if you follow her or not, but Denise Knight Divination, her channel, she's doing a daily reading on the felon's health. And the things that she has brought up tell me that he likely has diabetes, and she's talked about liver issues, as some of the cards have indicated he's having liver issues. Liver issues occur when diabetes is not well controlled. I've pulled this card out twice now, and I'm not quite sure what it means right now. Foreign occupation. I want to read on 45's health first. Tell me about 45's health. Tell me about 45's health. We are definitely going to have an uprising and a rebellion. And then we'll return to normal. In the meantime, though, there may be military action, but somebody else is going to come in and help us. That could be where foreign occupation comes in. That's not 45's health, though, is it? Sometimes spirit wants what spirit wants first. Pandemic, health crisis again. We have food shortages again. This year is going to be kind of rough. I'm sorry, folks. I don't like it any more than you do. I have my fears about what's going to happen across many industries and how that's going to impact our economy. Who's going to stay employed versus be laid off. And I think some of the industries that traditionally benefit when the economy stinks, when it tanks, I don't think they're going to see the kind of benefits that they have in the past. Fire and heat wave again. These guys popped out. Yes. I think we're going to learn about experiments and tests that bring us some kind of successful health treatment. I know that a while back, I said that I thought that there would be new information about Alzheimer's, and that came out last week or the week before, that there is now a blood test that is specific to Alzheimer's. So that is promising. There will be changes in the royal family. Change is coming. And if you notice, she's dressed in all black. So I am going to predict that there's going to be a change in King Charles's health, that he may be leaving the physical body and headed back to spiritual. So what was it? I wanted to look at this foreign occupation card a little more. Still don't know anything about the 45's health. I mean, I can tell you about his health. If he has diabetes, diabetes affects every single cell of the body. And it starts with the smallest cells and creates damage there. And then it goes to the next cell and creates damage there. And when you have a bunch of cells that are damaged, you lose function in that area. So things like the very smallest arteries, those that go to your kidneys and to your eyes, the ones that hit your distals, your fingers, your toes, those are the ones that are impacted first. The nerves are especially impacted. And well, whatever this foreign occupation thing is, it's going to be big news. What else with foreign occupation? Health matter. So we're finally getting some information on 45-ish. You know what? I'm going to grab a different deck. Let me see. This one. Can you tell me about 45's health? What can you tell me about 45's health? Cover up of the information. Oh, that's obvious. He's really good at doing that. What else can you tell me about 45's health? Silence. They're not going to tell us. But we have an ending coming to somebody near you. Any more about his health? We have dark motives, keeping us in the dark. But there's a day that he's going to have his reckoning. The cards be a-flying. Gone, but not forgotten. Darn it. But there are people around him that are very carefully protecting him. And those people have all been handpicked and have had to show their loyalty. Could you tell us something we don't already know? Well, cards hit the floor. Not sure we're going to read those. Nope, not going to read those. If you have a question, pop it into the comment area. I would be glad to answer a topic that you want to know more about. He's very defensive about his health. He doesn't like people knowing. But eventually the everything's going to be revealed. He won't be able to hide it anymore. Forced. His health issues are going to force his hand, and he's going to have to walk away. He's also going to feel like he's trapped in his body. Which tells me that there's probably dementia or stroke, probably stroke. Dementia is slower going than that typically. Lots of instability, but a lot of the things that we hear will not be true. But there's going to be some diagnoses that are overlapping. So, for example, one of the, if somebody has diabetes, one of the types of dementia that they can have is vascular dementia. Like I said earlier, diabetes attacks the vascular system, especially the small arteries first. And that can cause vascular dementia. At some point, he's going to become a liability to whomever is controlling behind the scenes. Actually, sooner than later, he's already a liability. I saw the card and it stuck with me, but I was flipping through them fast, so I didn't get to pull it out. And ultimately, it ends in fatality. But that is, all of that is known. I wish we could find out something that is not known. Let's see. Anything we don't know. Anything we don't know. What do you got? Anything? Anything at all? Oh. We're going to get a lot of information revealed soon. We're going to learn who's been doing his dirty work for him. And I think we're going to learn that they've been doing it for really dark reasons. And we're going to discover that it is not what we expected. A lot of us strongly believe that there is, let's see. I need to say this carefully a connection to movement of people in a manner that they don't have a say. Are you connecting those dots? And I think that that is the underlying of it, but I also think that there's more to that. What else can you tell me about that? Certainly a corrupt process. We're going to learn that a socialite has something to do with it. Well, that's not good. Okay. Oh, I just heard some J-Lo music in my head. Part of it was for power, but also part of it is who they associated with. A lot of people are talking about Justin Bieber and why he's acting so erratically. I believe that more hit the floor. I believe that he is behaving erratically because of the Diddy trial and because he was part of, I think he was both victimized and forced into victimizing others. He was very young when he came to Diddy. Oh, what's going on? Holy cow. I do feel like if he gets therapy, his life will be better. But it is only a matter of time before everything comes out. He is feeling, Justin is feeling very vulnerable right now. He's scared. And I suspect there's a lot more to that story than we will ever know. Okay. I don't have anything else from that deck. A while back, Jane and I did a video about the kids in Australia that have been missing for years and years and years. Oh, let me go find the name of that. The Beaumont children. And I had a thought, and I briefly touched on this during that video, is that, so I know that, and in fact, coincidentally, when we did that video, they were digging up the area where they thought the children may have been buried. And we didn't know that. It was very coincidental that that occurred at the same time. But I had a thought later on that if they use a LiDAR equipment, they around that property, and I mean, probably 100 meters surrounding it, and to also find out if there was a companion piece of property to the original property, meaning like was there an easement or a vacant lot nearby, any of those, a LiDAR on any of those pieces of land, I think that's where those kids will be found. And it's far less expensive than digging up. Okay, let's see. I think that was everything that I wanted to look at today. And I'm going to pop in if you have any questions. I don't know if I'm here all alone and just talking to myself, which is certainly a possibility. I'm really good at that. So, just a quick FYI, the deck that I just used was the Stardust Shadows by Trish James. Here we go, by Trish James. I love her cards. And the other one, the first one I was using was her predictions deck. You will see me use her cards in almost every reading I do. I connect to spirit realm really well with these cards. So, all right, let me finish. Oops, sorry, going off screen kind of. Oh, actually, let me pause my video. Okay, I needed to grab a box that was off screen. And y'all didn't need to hear me do that. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. So I want to wrap up by pulling some Angel Oracle cards. And I'm using this deck, maybe. This deck. Yes, have a background on. Always good. Always good. Okay. I have 3 that they want us to know about. The first one is steady progress. Let me hold that up a little bit for you. We acknowledge you for the progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. Oh, that's beautiful. Next, we have energy work. Life can be electrifying because its very essence is energy. Your body is a remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and heart are activated to give healing energy to your loved ones and clients. And this one to me speaks about all the different complementary and alternative medicine options: chiropractic, acupuncture, Reiki, massage therapy, any of those, naturopathy, homeopathy, all of those, this card really speaks to. If you have the ability to get treatment of those natures, they can help unlock healing energy in your body. And I don't say that as a promise, because you know no treatment is ever a promised outcome. So do your homework, figure it out on your own. Tarot and oracle readings are for entertainment purposes only, allegedly. Entertaining new ideas. Shout out to Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides for those words, entertaining new ideas. All right, and then our final card is Have Confidence. Moving forward does not necessarily require you to have confidence in yourself. Confidence is, it's small print. And I'm kind of old. Excuse me. Confidence in God is enough, along with knowing that God works through you and with you in all ways. Lean upon us if your confidence wavers, and we will buoy your courage and faith. It's always a good day to remember that we are not just made in the image of what we call God. Our structures are part of God. So we are God. And knowing that we have God energy in us can buoy our confidence. Okay, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I know that Monday is Memorial Day, and so I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to all those who have served our country. I know it is an incredible sacrifice. The majority of members of my family have served in the military, and so I understand what kind of sacrifice is involved. I also understand the long-term effects of doing so. And I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching this now and in the future. I hope you have a beautiful weekend ahead. And remember that you are made of stardust and magic. You are far more powerful than you realize, and you are profoundly loved. Have a good one. Bye now.